Hi everyone, I'm Catherine, the artist behind Bigelow Fine Arts. I feel like the end is nigh, maybe a few more areas and the background. How is your coloring going? Are you following along? Today I am up in the big trees, completing a bunch of leaves. First up, I will be going back in with the olive green palette and working on a few random straggler leaves that I decided should have been olive green. I began by laying in a base with the earth green over the entire leaf. I always use a light hand for this step, and a sharp pencil is best, something I don't always do but really should. With my base layer in place, I'm coming in with the permanent green along the rib to add a little depth and shadow to the leaf. For this page, I've been treating the ribs as if they are a deep valley creasing through the leaf, and as such I have been making them darker compared to the edge. With the pine green, I am darkening up the shadow at the ribs, as well as adding in a layer on the curl of the leaf. For the smaller leaves at the top, I'm making one half of the leaf a little darker than the other half. Putting a light layer of a dark green on one half is enough to accomplish this. Most of the pine green is ending up at the ribs. The chrome green takes care of the other half of the leaf, shading it to be darker than the other half. Now that I have my colors in place, I go back in with every color to do touching up and refinement work. Most of the time this equates to more light layers to fill in the tooth of the paper, but sometimes I need to feather out a sharp line I made when adding in the shadows. For the most part, I don't want any sharp lines for my shadows. The light hitting the leaves would in theory be diffused by other leaves. Now that I have filled in those leaves, I decided to also fill in these leaves with an outline using the same color. I began with a light base layer of the earth green over the whole leaf. I'm adding in a light shadow at the base with the permanent green as well as a little on the tips. The pine green is what I'll use to really give the shadow depth, but coming in with the permanent green helps me to define my shadow placement and see if I like it. Everything is pretty light at this point, and I can go over the colors with other colors to correct the shadows. I then used the pine green at the base of the leaf where the small wedge is, as well as along the outer outline of the leaf. To make sure I don't have a harsh shadow line, I'll blend the earth green base to the pine green with several light layers of the permanent green. I'll also darken up the tip as well. My logic is that the leaf is curling over and casting the tip in shadow. With my colors mostly in place, I'm coming back in to touch up and refine. I'm starting with the earth green since it was first and received the lightest layer. I want to add more layers and also blend them into the permanent green. Onto a new leaf. I tried making a new rust green color for the leaves with eyes. I'm not totally happy with the way they look, mostly because they tend to blend into the trunk in a way I didn't expect. Oh well. I think if I had put the green on the outside, it might have worked better. What I did was to fill in the centers with the olive green and used the permanent green to darken the middle edge, almost like a rib effect. Or maybe these are seed pods and the brown cover is overlapping the greenish interior and casting a shadow. In any case, I used the burnt sienna to create that brownish exterior, filling in the outline and adding a little more color to the center and base to hint at a shadow. I used the warm gray to blend out to the lighter edge. Warm grays tend to have a brown hue to them and worked well in this instance with the sienna. These leaf things came together pretty quickly. Not only were they small, but I didn't try to do too much with them. It is really coming together at this point. Let me know how your coloring is going and if you've been following along. If you have any questions, please leave them below or on the Patreon post linking this video. Down in the show notes, I have added in the chapter breaks as well as a list of equipment I have or will be using. And thank you everyone for coming along and joining in with me on this coloring journey. I appreciate all my subscribers and look forward to more of you joining in and coloring along with me. That will only happen if you like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, happy coloring!